And what I was alluding to earlier with different or similar kind of habitats, but different species, and these types of environments really being important from a scientific perspective, that these large-scale marine conservation areas, besides obviously their huge conservation benefit, they also have extraordinary scientific value because they kind of act as natural laboratories where you can basically isolate some of the factors. Some of these large-scale marine protected areas, you have now removed a lot of the human stresses, a lot of the human pressures on the ecosystems, and now you see basically natural environments more like they should look like. If us humans were removed from the equation, and then you can start understanding better what is causing things, and that's really important. Marine conservation areas are important kind of focal points for research because of this very phenomenon, and that's a lot of trophic, and look for folks looking at biomass counts or so. That's one thing. If you have had the privilege of being able to dive in a place where humans have been removed, you'll see that there's a lot bigger things and a lot of things that are not afraid of you. It's just more natural. All right, looks like we're just crossing the 700-meter isobath. It's about 150 meters of vertical relief to go till the top of this feature.
Can we zoom the shrimp?
Sure. I'm pushing the shrimp.
Just looks really pretty.
It is pretty.
Nice.
Okay, come on.
It's sort of running, which I think is really interesting.
Well, we can zoom the eel too.
Push in there.
So this is an actual eel?
This is a real eel, yeah.
Okay.
Real eel.
Yeah.
We saw fake eels?
Well, they're not cusk eels.
Oh.
Yeah, like which are fish. It's the eel.
So what kind of separates this from cusk eel?
Well,
They're allies. No, I'm just
yeah.
Oh,
I think this is a congred eel.
Congred eel.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, come on.
Jeff is also. Thanks, Jeff. Conger.
Congro.
another fish.
Yep. It's Neoscopus. They do this posture where they just sort of float, kind of head tilted downward.
Oh, it's that gelatinous.
Siphonophore?
Yes, that is really long siphonophore, actually.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
With its curtain of death.
Wow. There, it's starting to come into Herc view.
Are these venomous? You said curtain of death?
Yeah, so they have this really long chain of feeding polyps that put out these like tentacles that are stinging. So it definitely hurts. You ever been stung by a blue bottle?
Yes.
It's
They're very painful.
Yeah, not enjoyable. And so they use those long stinging tentacles to capture prey.
Are those little, is that part of the organism or leeches?
The red part?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the stomachs.
Oh, those are the
Oh.
stomachs.
What, there's something large in the background?
Yeah,
Fish.
bigger fish.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Barracks, I think.
Oh.
Looks like a Cheshire cat.
Yeah.
Alfonso? Oh, Alfacino.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so this
that's
is
the
a
common name. Yeah.
commercially important species,
Oh.
according to Jeff.
Yeah, so they are trawled in certain seamounts in some areas.
All right.
Big aggregations too.
Come on. It's going backwards.
Barracks splendens is the scientific name. I never know how to pronounce scientific names.
You got it. Yeah, you were right on the money there.
Oh, is that a ray?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, it is.
yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
The glasses are working. Oh, this is cool.
Is it a skate?
This is a Plesiobatis.
Plesiobatis. Nice.
Yes, Jeff is confirming in the chat. He agrees.
Push into it.
I love these rays. They're so
Come down
gorgeous.
a couple meters.
Yep, I'm down.
This is actually a little one. They get much bigger.
How big can they get?
We've definitely seen them like, you know, like a meter across.
Wow.
So in the tail, you can see that,
The stinging.
yeah, the stink thing.
It's pretty
Thorn.
incredible.
I like how you can kind of see its veins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say very beautiful on the. Do we call them? Is the correct morphology term flaps?
I think it's wings.
Wings.
Yeah, wing sounds better.
But, you know, the fun scientific term is sea flap flap.
Sea flap flap. Sea pancake.
I'll come down a little more.
I don't think there's a way to collect this, Jeff. I'm sorry.
A little bit too big.
Yeah.
Gonna need a bigger slurp.
We need like an aquarium.
I'll take mental pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice
It's
imagery.
been very
real ones, too.
cooperative with us.
Yeah, it's just hanging out.
Yeah. Sometimes they like to give you a tour. They're like, follow me.
Really see the eyes.
All right,
Yeah.
I think we're good here.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'll stare at this ray all day. You know us.
We got a mountain to climb.
Yeah, we do.
Why didn't you guys make it all the way to the top? Well, there was this ray.
And we haven't moved in 2 hours.
Hey, but we did see an elasmobranch today, so we can check that off the list.
They need like Nautilus bingo for viewers.
Yeah, actually, I feel like we should do that. make a list of things that you might see on a dive and see if we catch them all.
Ah.
And who can get Pingo first.
Like underwater bingo?
Underwater
Yeah.
bingo.
Or underwater Pokemon.
Deep sea bingo.
Yeah, so
catch
you
'em all.
get a little bit of information about the seamount, and then you get to populate your card with different animal names that you think might be there.
Hmm.
And then you get a prize at the end.
And then you get a prize if you get bingo.
This is for the viewers.
I mean, you could play too.
I mean, we could all play. I mean, I might be in an advantage here because I got a better idea what we're going to see. But you could use the deep sea animal guides.
Bingo card full of Cuskills.
Yeah. See, that's one way to do it.
Small Cuskeel, slightly larger Cuskeel.
Casquilcito.
Shrimp.
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 That's it.
Yeah, so Jeff is saying they did see a lantern shark on the previous watch.
Oh,
And
did they see a lantern
cool.
shark?
I think that's the first shark of the
Yeah.
either
Oh,
voyage.
Max is on that watch, and he's wanted
Yeah.
to
He's
see
been
a
wanting
shark.
to see a shark. I'm so glad.
That makes me
I'm-
happy.
I promised that he would see sharks.
Oh.
It was
Wow.
I shouldn't have promised.
Nice.
I was like, oh yeah, every time we put the ROV in the water, we often see the oceanic white tips. We haven't seen one yet.
Not a
And
single one.
you just see him out there waiting for them.
I think they just know that people are looking. I'm like, ah.
I think it was a juvenile lantern shark, right? It's kind of small.
Lantern
Yeah.
sharks are small.
We got a little cheesy here. There was people singing baby shark songs.
Now it's in your head.
Yep. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
that.
Are we nearing the depth range of the Nautilus?
Yeah, we just passed 700 meters, so we're now in their depth range.
I would be very happy
It would
if
be
I
really
saw
cool.
one.
Rennie the other night was like, yeah, it'll just be a whole bunch of Nautiluses. They'll just be like falling from the sky. So hopefully we can manifest that for him.
Manifesting.
Do you know how Pickrick got its Nautilus? Well, I guess there's two.
Yeah, so we have some very talented aquarists who are proficient in capturing the Nautilus. I believe they use a sort of cage, and then they lower it down to, I forget, I don't think, it's not 700 meters, but it's sort of the beginning of the depth range.
Right.
And then they're able to bring them up to the aquarium to display for, you know, the kids who come by to sort of see the deep water species. And for a long time, that was actually one of the only deep water species in Palau that was within sort of the common knowledge.
Right.
And now we'll have a lot more to add.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
along with the videos. Yeah, if anyone's ever in Koror, Palau, I don't know if anyone would be besides those of us here. We have a wonderful deep sea display at our aquarium, and in addition to the Nautilus, we have a bunch of videos where you can see from the baited camera work, and I'm sure they'll now be adding the Nautilus videos for the public to see, and especially kids. They really love to go in and look at all the videos and just see the sea life without having to go out to snorkel, especially for those who don't have access to snorkel equipment or things like that. It's a way to make the ocean a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool exhibit.
It was really
It was,
cool.
yeah, it was awesome. I've
Yeah,
never
well,
seen a nautilus in person before.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was
And there was
amazing.
2.
Yeah.
And the
But I had seen that video before. I was like, that looks mighty familiar. Especially with the Chaseon crabs.
Push in there.
Because I was part
The
of the
star.
team that helped annotate it.
Oh, cool.
Now this is an actiniidae type of sea star. They tend to eat corals, so I think that's what it's doing right now. You see that little whip. Kind of,
Yeah.
I think it's trying to eat whatever that is.
Looks like a sponge to me.
Oh, well, next to it is a sponge, but there's like a gray
oh yeah.
Oh, I see.
metallogorgia, yeah.
Yeah, I see.
So it might be attempting to go up there and eat it.
so one of our viewers said we actually have
What?
a bingo game on the Nautilus Live, one for seafloor and one for midwater bingo.
Nice.
Yeah.
We should play midwater bingo and keep us on task. Some more Neoscopolis.
Yeah, thanks, Elsie, for talking about the exhibit, and I understand there's also a recent opening of a exhibiting commemorating the sister site relationship with our sisters and brothers in American Samoa.
Yeah, really cool. So the Palau National Marine Sanctuary actually has a sister sanctuary in American Samoa, and I believe it's the National Marine Sanctuary of American Samoa. And the really interesting work that they do is very similar to a lot of what our outreach team does. So there's been a lot of exchanges between their office and ours, and we've had a chance for some of our staff to go and visit American Samoa and see what they do there. And we just had some of them come on the first leg of, or the leg previous to Leave a Voyage 1 to come, and Leave a Voyage 1 as well. Yeah, to come to Palau.
Yeah, it was quite a nice treat for us. Exploration Vessel Nautilus was in American Samoa earlier this year, and when we planned both the Boo's voyage and our expeditions to American Samoa, we were actually able to plan both of those expeditions in tandem and involving scientists and managers from both areas together, and just really highlighting their similarities, a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of the same types of challenges when you work with large-scale marine conservation areas, when you work in these very remote places where it's difficult to access, but raising awareness about these ecosystems is of imperative importance. Obviously, the biggest parts of these sanctuaries are in deep water where we know very little about, and it's logistically challenging to get to, and so great to have folks working together to try to tackle this big challenge, really, that is to work in and around marine conservation. That's so important, and yeah, joining forces is a really good strategy.
Yeah, thank you again to the Ocean Exploration Trust and the team on Nautilus for helping Palau really to understand and characterize these environments, which is actually one of PICRIC, the Palau International Coral Reef Center's directives. Under the law which created the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, we were tasked with also conducting research in the deep sea environment. And previous to, we did not have the facilities or the expertise to do that. And we were lucky to convene a meeting in 2022 where I first met Daniel and the team, to sort of understand how we can partner and utilize those partnerships to research these deep sea areas. Even in our shallow water areas, it is very well studied, but we still do come up against the challenges of staffing, expertise. So of course these partnerships are so important. Is this a coral? I mean, we don't have to zoom. I was just curious. I
maybe quick.
hadn't seen that
It's
one.
a
Quick
Victor
snap.
Gorgia.
Yeah, no, good eye. As per usual, Elsie spots everything.
Oh. Okay.
These ones
that
are so
better?
pretty.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's
No,
a,
that's great. That's our first one we spotted, so good to have it on record.
Nice.
it's a Victor Gorgia, right?
Yep.
Oh, I've seen a few of them,
Oh,
but I'm like, I know what it is.
that's
on.
great. Thanks.
So they can grow on, well, I guess it wouldn't really be sediment, right? It's sort of rubble.
Yeah, it's anchored on something that is
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah, sometimes we see corals or sponges that grow on less stable substrates, and they eventually topple over. So if they pick a substrate that isn't, suitable, that can happen. But in some areas, even like small cobbles can be quite stable for long periods of time, and you can see large corals growing on them, and that's always a bit surprising, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. That coral or sponge or animal is very lucky, wins the lottery.
Yeah. Life finds a way.
Yeah,
But the larger you get, the more likely you can topple over, which happens a lot to some of the larger corals,
Yeah,
even if they do have a very stable substrate.
We've seen that a couple of times already, I think, on our watch, maybe once or twice. A large coral toppled over.
Yeah, and in fact, the rubble that we're seeing, that's the way they grow. Is these are a reef building deep water coral, one of the about a half a dozen or so species that are known to form reefs in the deep sea. Very different from the shallow, where we have many hundreds of species known to be reef building corals. But yeah, this rubble, that species, and we have seen, I believe at one point I saw a live one earlier in the dive. I have a suspicion we'll see a few more live ones here towards the top, but yeah, that species basically will grow, and then pieces die and new pieces grow on top, and over time it accumulates these massive mounds.
And the time scales we're talking about at these depths are a lot longer than what we're used to as humans, correct?
Yeah, I remember reading a paper of some of these big deep water reefs of Lophelia pertusa, being on the order of 10,000 years old in terms of the reef, not the individual. But yeah, it takes a long time for the species themselves grow slow, but for the massive restructure, it takes even longer. Yeah, maybe a quick snap zoom on this rock.
Sure.
Maybe get
Push in there.
anemones.
And there's some cup corals as well.
Snail or something.
Yeah, it does look like a snail.
An invertebrate fiesta.
So this rock might have just tumbled down from a higher spot on the seamount and then landed in the coral rubble?
Yeah, most likely. Quite a while ago.
Yeah, you can see the thick crust.
Okay, come on.
looks like we'll see some more of these rocks coming up.
Push in there.
Each rock is like its own environment.
A little oasis. Yeah.
Lots of good stuff on this one.
Yeah.
There's some Metallogorgia, Walteria flemingi, Acanthascus. There's a little black coral. And then there are these anemones.
All right, come on.
And just looking ahead, so today's dive will have about a little under 3 hours of bottom time left. Hopefully we'll make it to the top of this feature, and then we'll secure the ROVs on deck. Hopefully before dinner here on board tonight, then we'll have about a half-day transit due west.
Dinner and ice cream. Sorry.
Yeah, it's ice cream day.
Ice cream day.
Had to just interject there.
And so like planning to get there in the morning, dive this other seamount about 120 nautical miles west of us for another dive, and then we'll have 2 more dives, weather permitting, after that, all exploring unmapped and unexplored seamounts here in the southwestern portion of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. And so basically hoping to do daily dives here till Thursday early in the morning. Then we'll have a 24-hour transit back into port, into Malakal, arriving Friday morning. And then we'll have a 3-day in port, and there'll be 1 more expedition that have a very different focus, that will focus on exploring the biological and physical oceanography of Palau, working with our partners at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography and the Coral Reef Research Foundation to deploy various robotic assets around the Palauan Islands to try to understand the island mass effect. So these islands itself create these large halos, these large enhanced productivity that can extend hundreds, if not thousands of miles offshore, enhancing productivity, including in offshore waters within the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. So that expedition will focus on basically deploying various of these assets to try to better characterize the flow around the islands.
Wow.
And then that expedition will end right before Christmas, and then we'll take our off season and start off season back in April of 2025, where we'll have another very exciting expedition season for all of you that will start with 2 back-to-back expeditions in the Mariana Islands and Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, looking at both the Mariana Trench environment as well as mud volcanoes adjacent to the trench. Then we'll be heading east to the Marshall Islands. It's a very large area, also home to many hundreds of seamounts and some very historically significant wrecks from World War II, including USS Pennsylvania, that we think we have a fix for and are hopefully be able to dive on. And that will be then the opening for the expedition thereafter to the Solomon Islands, that will be exclusively focused on surveying underwater cultural heritage site associated with 5 very large naval battles of World War II fought off in the islands of Guadalcanal, Savo Island, and the Anguilla Islands and the Solomon Islands. And then after that, we'll head east to Fiji, where we have an expedition focused on exploring the very vast exclusive economic zone of Fiji, which is also home to a very diverse marine ecosystem, including extensive hydrothermal vents on the western portion of Fiji, as well as seamount submarine canyons, ridges, escarpments, and you name it. So should be another very jam-packed season for all of you to join. So hopefully you'll all join us on Nautilus Live for next year's expedition season. We do have a call for science input available, open to all scientists and resource managers, and really anyone that has an interest in these operating areas. Anyone can propose areas to be explored, specific samples to be collected, areas to be mapped. We also have calls for our science and engineering internship open till January 3rd, so anyone that wants to sail with Nautilus is encouraged to apply for these paid positions to come out to sea with us. And we also have open our applications for our science communication fellowships. So these are also open through January 3rd for professional educators that want to come on board EV Nautilus and be our storytellers, help connect this science we do here on board EV Nautilus to communities. That is really a big core of our mission at the Ocean Exploration Trust, is to use the excitement of exploration, the excitement of using cutting-edge technologies to engage audiences of all ages. And yeah, huge thank you to our science communication fellows who have been doing a tremendous job. It's been really wonderful to sail with Blodark, Amanda, and Kim and learn so much from each and one of you. And you guys are really core to what we're trying to achieve. We don't just want to do science for scientists, but really science to engage society at large. So thank you so much for all the hard work you do here, both on the watches and then in the broadcast studio, connecting with schools at odd hours in the middle of the night, and really appreciate it.
No, it's been a very rewarding experience to be part of this. And for you guys who want to apply, you can go to nautiluslive.org, visit the educator, or yeah, you can find the applications there. So we hope to hear from you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. Looks like 2025 is shaping up to be really interesting here on Nautilus, and we'll follow along online.
Absolutely. And then for all of you here in Palau, then there is more exploration to come. So our sponsors, the NOAA Office of Ocean Exploration and Research, is also planning expeditions with our sister ship, NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer, who is also planning to come to Palau next year. So a lot more exploration to come.
It looks like a lure you buy at a store.
It does.
Very shiny.
Yeah, shiny.
Metallic.
Very satisfying colors.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
You can see the photo for us too.
Watch out for the sponge.
Spunk. That was good.
All right, come on.
What's our range, Megan, here to waypoint 5, out of curiosity? Just trying to do my trigonometry, but...
Got about 370 meters.
Roger that, yeah. So yeah, it was a good call too.
Yeah, so definitely make it to the top of this feature.
It's wonderful.
Yep, and we are currently 680 meters down in the ocean. Making our way up.
Just a little bump of the pace. That's all it needed.
Oh, can we zoom the yellow?
Sure.
I think it's crinoid.
Crinoid? Yeah, on a metallic ordure.
Yep,
Push in.
you got it. Jake's on it. He knows all the animals now.
Yeah. So the yellow is a
is a crinoid, a feather star. And you can see the little cirri, those curly feet that are holding onto the metallic gorgia.
But it's able to walk on its own?
Yeah, they'll swim actually.
Swim.
They could let go of this coral and they'll undulate their arms and swim away.
It's so cool when they swim.
It's really cool.
All right, come on.
Yeah, it's a group of about 700 or so described species. They used to be a lot more diverse in the past. So in the geological record, I think the earliest crinoids appeared about 48 million years ago. So a lot longer than humans have been on our planet. About 160 times older than us humans have been around. And yeah, you do have fossils of crinoids, and I believe in some cultures they also make amulets and necklaces and other kind of jewelry with fossils, fossil pieces of crinoids. And
jelly.
another Alfonsino.
The Barracks splendens.
And these, as Jeff reminded us earlier in the chat, these are commercially valuable. They are in some parts of the world fished. So these fish have these massive aggregations in some parts, and that kind of behavior makes them vulnerable. That's easier to catch big schools of these, big groups.
Is this their typical size, or do they get larger?
They don't get much larger than that, no. There's other species that are a little bit larger, but then there's also the orange ruffies, and those get a little bit bigger and are also commercially valuable. The Barracks are cuter, in my opinion, but...
They remind me of a fish in Palau called psugula. Do you know that fish, Elsie? Psugula? Yeah. You can find them like inside corals, shallow corals with big eyes.
Oh, the squirrel fish?
Yeah, it's red and it has
red with the stripes, and they're like usually under ledges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we call them squirrel fishes.
Oh.
What was the name you called them?
Psugula. Psugula. Oh yeah, that's.
And
then there's other ones.
there's like the
those are like striped, but then there's ones that are just red. I think the ones that are red are psugula.
Like soldier fish, yeah.
Soldier fish and squirrel fish.
Yeah.
Are they related, kind of?
Yeah, they're in the same family.
Makes sense.
Always in caves, for those that are scuba divers, or if you come out at night. Yeah.
Yeah, the big eyes are better to see in the dark.
But that Alfonsino that we were just looking at, I
Can we
believe
zoom
they
this
have been
whip coral?
they're also not very fast growing. They're 25 years or so, I believe, is their
Push in there.
lifespan.
Oh, wow.
I was just debating if it was Stichopathes or Ceropathes.
And your conclusion is?
Ceropathes? What do you think, Daniel?
Oh, it's a conundrum because yeah, the character that was used to describe those two genera is probably not a good evolutionary meaningful character. So those two genera were basically described if the polyps are all found on one side of the corallum, which is the Stichopathes, or when they're found all around the corallum, which is Ceropathes. But since then, folks have done a lot of genetic work and basically matched that up to this morphological trait and figured out that they cluster in all kinds of things. And yeah, that's a big taxonomic dumping ground is all the wire black corals. There is a lot of different groupings that are all being called the same thing.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Too many species, too little taxonomists.
Yeah, we need more funding for taxonomy. Who's this one? Big shrimp.
That's a shrimp.
Looks like it. Like a lobster even.
Push in there.
What are you doing, shrimp?
Just relaxing,
Shrimping.
Yeah, just shrimping.
resting.
Some
It's just
really
an
long
interesting
antennas.
posture.
Is that what's right below it? Is that an anemone?
Little anemone, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's kind of big.
It is a
It's a
big
shrimp.
shrimp. I think it could be something like Plesiopenaeus.
Jeff is saying collect.
Ah, yeah. Jeff would like this.
What did Jeff say?
He would like to collect the shrimp.
Collect the shrimp. All right.
Okay, come on. Yep. Tilt down.
And he also said, please try to slurp the tail first.
Okay. Yeah, let's hold on the slurp until I...
This is going to be a really fast shrimp.
Get it into position.
You
Also
have,
pretty big.
Stealth.
there's stuff in the bucket that's up.
Yeah, is that...
Oh. It's
knows.
like, no.
Are we in bucket 4? Because we have a sample there.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna push the. Oh, that's 5. That's 5.
We're in bucket 5? Alright,
I think it's from the last attempted fish sample. We got some.
yeah, that's fine.
All right, want to turn on the suction?
Oh, it knew. It
knew.
felt it.
It felt it immediately. Yeah.
Jake, are you able to use both hands at one time?
Huh?
Oh,
Really?
both arms?
Yeah, both arms.
No.
Not currently,
Oh.
no.
Oh.
Yeah, good attempt, but
So Jeff's ID for this one was a Plesiopenis
Plesiopenatus edwardsiana.
armatus
Armatus?
is what he said perhaps.
I think in
Modest.
our annotations we were calling it edwardsiana.
Edwardsiana.
Yeah. But he could be better. We could review these things again too. We did see those coming to the baited cameras.
yeah, and speaking of IDs here, big thanks also to our scientists ashore, Dr. Kenneth Sulak from the U.S. Geological Survey, formerly retired, who has shared a whole bunch of IDs on fishes and written up a whole bunch of them, a blog coming out here in the next couple of days with pictures and IDs and explanations of where the common names come from and the Greek and Latin roots of names. So yeah, big thanks to Ken for all his wonderful contributions. And all of our other scientists ashore, we've had a very loyal, small army of scientists joining us at odd hours in different parts of the world. Really appreciate it. Currently online, we also have Asako Matsumoto in Japan, and Jonathan Womack in the United States, and a few others that have been joining us periodically. Thank you so much for your invaluable contributions to our missions.
Another Alfonsina? Okay. Alfonsino.
Yep.
Alfonsino.
It's a rock.
10, 20, 30, 40, 40, 45 meters out.
It's coming.
All right, here we go.
Getting to the base of this feature.
This is always my favorite part of a dive, is when you have something like that on the sonar and start imagining what is going to come.
I start tugging Atalanta to get there faster.
That's what Dan does. It's like, come along, Atalanta, we're on adventure.
I'm trying.
We've dragged Atalanta quite a ways before.
Yeah, and I think we've gotten into a good rhythm here of moving and yeah, covered some great ground. So just about 100 meters of vertical relief remaining till the highest point of this large feature, this 15-kilometer large seamount with several of these small pinnacles on top.
No. There it is.
And yeah, once again we see a little mini oasis on top of this big boulder.
It's the place to be.
Yeah, so we see there a rare live one of the many dead pieces of coral rubble. That yellow one, I believe, is an Elipsamia. A lot of glass sponges, a lot of primoids, Brasingid sea stars, anemones.
Got some good sponges too.
Wow.
Yeah, can we take a look at that
Sure.
punch bowl sponge? Yeah,
Sure.
it looks like a serving dish.
Yeah.
It's got some great texture.
All right, push in there.
What are you? Wow, it's so pretty.
It is.
I've got more zoom. Let me know if you want it.
Yeah, can we zoom more?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a sponge.
This is a glass sponge.
That's all I have.
I believe it's in the family Euplectellidae.
They all have such different patterns.
Yeah, like the way the dictyonal framework, the lattice pattern is on these like little protuberances on the outside. They're so regular, like a honeycomb. It's really unusual.
Yeah, it does look like a honeycomb.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know this sponge.
All right. Come wide a bit.
Yeah, there's a, to our left, there's going to be a wire like, I don't know if that is, it'd be good to investigate.
Take a look at it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Come on,
Do we
forward.
want to spend a little bit of time here? I can stop our move. Well, actually, no, our move just ended. So
Perfect. All right. Can push in there.
so hydrozoans. But what are they growing on?
Yeah, it was confusing me. Yeah.
Looked like a whip
Yeah.
coral or something.
Yeah, like it was something else before.
Hmm.
Now it's colonized by these hydrozoans.
It's all fluffy.
Well, look at those
The
yellow
sponge was all
zoanthids.
yellows.
Yeah,
Is that a farreid?
it is.
Huh.
And then there's a little rosellid glass sponge underneath it.
Go a bit wide.
There's so much cool stuff here.
And you do have another structure to your port side.
We can go boulder hopping here for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a really big chrysogorgia.
What's in the cave?
What
Yeah.
is in the cave?
Yeah.
Secret tunnel.
Ooh.
Lots of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Usually you don't see a lot of stuff growing inside caves, but there must be really good current coming in through here. Have such large corals and things in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Pretty cool.
There's another Victorgorgia. Oh, nice bathy-pathies too. Ooh, look at the red one.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
take a look at that.
Like a Leopathes.
Yeah. With a lot of associates.
All right, push in there.
Wow.
There's
Such
that.
a nice color.
It's a really good color. Black corals can come in many colors. With at least their tissue comes in many colors. Their skeletons are always black.
I have more zoom if you want it.
Oh.
Oh.
Some gooseneck barnacles, anemones. Looks like there's a squat lobster up there. Hydrozoans. Well, there's even a sponge.
Huh.
A lot of associates on this coral.
Yeah, looks like a demo sponge, just top right of screen there.
Unless that's a carrier crab and it's carrying the sponge.
Oh,
That
really?
might be what it's happening there, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You have any more zoom?
Yep.
I can tilt up a bit too.
That would be pretty cool.
Because it looks like it's floating, right? So, yep. Oh, yep. It's a whole crab and it's carrying a sponge.
I think it's the first time I've
It's
seen
making an offering.
a crab carry a sponge.
It's a really great choice.
Yeah.
I commend this choice. It's a good sponge hat.
Nice. All right, come wide.
Yeah, that's great.
Go the rest of this.
Yeah, looks like we're going to have some more structures too
Yeah.
coming up. That's exciting.
Well, we've got another hour and 40 minutes to explore. On our watch, at least.
So is that the same crab that will carry anemones?
It's in the same family as the one that carries the anemone.
Okay.
That particular one usually chooses a sponge or a coral.
Okay.
And do they eat it or do they just...
No, they just carry it around.
And does the sponge die after it
No, the sponge can keep living and the coral can keep living. It's actually probably gonna live a better life because the crab is gonna carry it around places. So it's up off the seafloor, getting good current, and crabs are messy eaters. So that gives the piece that it's carrying opportunity to feed.
Ready to keep moving?
Sure.
Another Oreo in the top left. Oh,
And Alfonsino.
Alfonsino?
And it looks like we are approaching the base of this bigger mount. So yeah, we're just about 100 meters from the top, and this is the base of this mound, and it is about a little over 100 meters across and 90 or so meters in vertical relief.
And these are coral rolls, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct. And we have only seen, at least I've only seen maybe 2 live ones of that species.
Oops. Yeah, that's my fault. It was my fault.
All right.
Oof. Got a little chilly. Yeah, you're fine, I know. My super thick fleece pants, I need to do laundry, so I have them for the next dive.
You can always wear your nudibranch costume again.
Yeah, well, I'm only a nighttime nudibranch. Nudibranch at midnight. It's on the witching hour, and I get transformed. But the nudibranch costume is the best. It's so warm, so cozy. Perfect.
Yeah, that dark spot looks
Yeah.
intriguing.
Is it a fish? I think it's a fish.
It is moving. Elsie, of
Push
course,
in there.
spotted this like half an hour ago.
Huh. It's a fish.
It's one of those epigonus. There, now it turns. Now you can see its double dorsal fin.
Big eye.
Those huge eyes.
Just looking around.
That's great.
So what is this light?
Oh, all right. Come bud.
Has there ever been a time you guys accidentally picked up something, like it got stuck somewhere between the rover Hercules?
Yep.
Yeah.
Inadvertent samples.
Yeah. Well, there was one recovery where there was a surface fish that got caught.
Ah,
I returned it to the sea, so it probably was fine.
hopefully. Yeah, cool.
It was probably a very stressful day for it, though. But sometimes in the surge, you can get an animal caught. There was one dive where a small dragonfish, which is a midwater fish, got caught on some Velcro on the ROV. That was kind of cool. I really liked that one.
Yeah, and that was really before this mission how most of the fish, if not all, that were collected on previous Nautilus expedition were collected. Just kind of accidental, and on this expedition having one of the foremost fish experts in the world on board on deep sea fishes, having a focus here on collection, and also having several other fish experts on the Chad devoting good attention to this group that is also poorly studied.
Push in there. Oreo.
Yep, oh yeah.
All right, come on.
So it's been a quite productive expedition for fish collections and fish observations. I'm sure we'll learn a lot.
Is that the same fish?
Yeah, another Alphonsino.
I don't know. I think the face is different.
Push in.
You're absolutely right.
I
Yeah.
think it's a Hoplostethus.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yes, this is an orange roughy.
Orange roughy.
Another commercially. But these ones are a lot older. So they got several hundred years old. And they have these massive spawning aggregations typically on top of seamounts. And that's where they're caught.
All right, come on.
There's a crab holding an anemone.
Oh yeah.
But could we look at the fish?
Which one?
That's down low, yeah. I think this one is a Coelurhynchus, the lower one. That's one off screen, lower right. Oh, there he is. Yeah, that one. I just saw the tip of the dorsal being white. And that was typical of these Coelurhynchus that we were seeing in the drop camera, and we didn't know what it was.
Yeah, so there's a confirmation by Jeff, Coelurhynchus.
Coelurhynchus.
That is not how I thought it would be spelled.
Yeah. That one's always a hard one for me to spell.
Request to slurp if we are set up to do so.
Yeah, we're stopped if we want to give it a go.
Come on.
If you catch this fish, Jake, like, you win.
You win.
Oh,
No pressure.
I don't think I'm gonna win, but I've not had good luck with this.
So Jeff says slurp or net. I don't know which would be a better chance.
Whichever one Jake feels drawn to, I think. Which has the better vibes.
Use the knife.
And I'll come down a little bit just in case. Let me know when you're ready.
Do you want a zoom, Jake?
Ready for it.
Turn it on.
Oh.
It was close.
See, he's not super fast, and he just headbutted the dirt in front of us, so, and he's stopped, so.
Do we have the full beans on the slurp?
Is
Yes.
it full beans? Yep. Not down enough. Oh. All right.
It was a good attempt.
That was
Yeah.
a very impressive attempt.
10 points for style.
Tried
Okay.
both ways, flying it into it.
I was holding my breath.
Yeah, I had to mute my mic. We were all on the edge of our seats back here.
I was totally like holding down the suction pump button, like to make it go faster.
I'm sure Jeff was too in the lounge. He was probably shouting at the screen.
We didn't want to
See, this is, you don't need sports. We have this. It's just as stressful. You're like rooting for your team.
not more.
Go, Jake.
Yep.
Talented ROV pilot.
Not talented enough.
Oh.
Sometimes
You
it's
did a
nice.
great job, Jake.
Yeah,
It's
Sometimes we just don't have
the,
enough
the
beans.
fish just did a better job.
The fish just sometimes is meant to stay down in the deep sea.
They are very challenging to collect.
We'll try for another.
This just looks very square.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, that sponge with the crinoid, that's what we saw basically. It was all over the other two seamounts of same depth. Big eel.
Nice little wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, got a
Oh, there's a shrimp
What
in
is
that
that in
sponge.
that sponge? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think it's a heterocarpus. They do seem to like to hang out inside sponges.
Push in there.
looks like it's tongue.
It's a perfect hideout.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on. Moving on.
another orange roughy.
Back up a bit.
Coming up.
You can come up a little bit.
Yep, already.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these anemones.
Yeah, big polyopogon.
It's Pheronemoides crustiformis. So it is in the Pheronemattidae,
That's
but that's the helmet sponge, as Chris Kelly used to call it. Oh, that Plerocleptropora has a lot on it.
yeah.
Oh, this looks like a cutthroat eel. Swimming through.
So would we consider this a forest, or what constitutes a forest? Coral forest, or?
Well, I mean, most of what we're seeing is anemones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's corals here too, but I would say it's a high density area.
Okay.
Yeah.
An anemone grove.
It's this guy.
This is a big fish.
Push in there.
Oh.
See, usually the amphigonads are much smaller. Like, this is huge. It would be cool to be able to catch this, but I don't think we will.
Yeah, I think that'll be very challenging.
The bigger fish are very hard with the slurp.
Yeah.
They're too strong. For
They're too strong, yeah.
section.
What about the net?
Still not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're too fast for us.
They're very fast.
All right, come on.
Now, one thing we'll need to prepare here as we'll head up towards waypoint 5 after we reach that is going to be back down. So I know that's going to be a little bit more challenging to move. Well, we'll continue on this heading until heading the top of this waypoint.
I'll come down a bit.
So yeah, we should have almost exactly 2 hours of bottom time remaining.
We've got 200 meters left to the top.
Ooh.
That's kind of,
Yeah.
is that a barrel?
It's hard to tell. It
Push in
looks
there.
like it's hard to tell if it's vertical or just laying It's, yeah, like a dead branch on the ground.
Yeah, thanks. Yep.
Okay, come on.
Oh, let's look at that fish.
Okay,
Different color.
push in there. Whoa.
It's like he's moonwalking
Yeah.
backwards. Really
Oh
nice.
yeah, this is different. We haven't seen this before.
Nice urchin.
Yeah.
Now the urchin is a spitodiadema, but I'm not sure about the fish.
Maybe Jeff will chime in.
Yeah.
Trying to come down a little more.
Tugged around a bit. Yeah.
I've come out a bit, but if you want me, I can zoom back in.
Push back in.
You can see its whiskers. Or those on the bottom.
All right.
Yeah, we can let this
Come
one
on.
go.
Yep.
Yep. Thanks.
And it's starting to come up again.
So Jeff's ID for the fish was Ophidiid?
Oh, so it was a cuskeel? Ophidiidae? It was just such a weird color.
Yeah. So translucent.
I thought it might
shiny.
be something else. That's weird. Can we zoom the yellow?
Here?
Yeah.
Yep. Push in here.
Is it a sponge with anemones?
It could be a dead,
Dead
something.
sponge.
Yeah. Or a base of a coral or something.
Huh.
It was just a weird color.
Yeah, it's a strange shape.
Cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
looks like the base of a big
Come
analopsamia to me.
Is that an octocoral on the bottom? Or is that, were they all anemones?
They're all anemones. Yeah, this anemone is quite dominant here. I think it's an actiniidae.
Yeah, looks like a few of the small Victorogorgia just pop out with the colors. Maybe quick zoom at that red object. Looks different.
Pushing there.
Lone mushroom coral. Thanks.
Okay. Come back wide.
The coral rubble is super dense here. It's a lot of it.
a lot of anemones.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot of anemones.
An anemone grove, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like, and then there's more.
That's a beautiful shot there.
Yeah.
Should we collect one of these anemones?
Yeah, I think we should. It's so abundant. And yeah, if we're set up to do so.
Yep, I'm
Yeah.
good here.
Same. Be a
Can we,
slurp.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
can we get a nice zoom on whichever one you're gonna slurp?
Yeah.
Do we have a finer ID for these?
You push in there.
Actiniidae.
Yeah, that's what I had. Okay.
It doesn't look like Isactinurnis quadrilobatus, which is the one that I have in the guide.
Are there two types? Is this one different to the left right there?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
other one is a hormathiid.
It's like in a tube.
Yeah, so we want the full devolved one.
Okay. All right, come on.
Are we still in slurp bucket 5?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
rubble in there.
Yeah, maybe we could
Switch it.
just go to 6 instead,
Sure.
and then we can always go
Swap
back to
it
5
out.
if needed.
There we go.
Cool.
And it should just pop right off.
Let me know when you're ready.
I wanted to get the one up there, but might have to go for the lower one. Oh, no, I think I can get it. Ready?
Yep.
Production?
All right, turn it on.
Oh,
There
that
she
that
goes.
was highly satisfying.
All right, it's in there.
Here we go.
Shut down suction.
For some reason, I hadn't
Awesome.
gotten the
I
scale right in my
rotate.
head. I thought these were a lot bigger.
Yeah, you know, they do look like they're bigger.
The whole rock I thought was bigger. I had been apparently ignoring the green dots, but so when you put the suction up, I was like, whoa.
And this is 56.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Getting a bit more shrimpy.
Yeah, the heterocarpus, we do know that they're very abundant at this depth here in Palau. There were so many that were coming to the baited cameras. It was very impressive.
Yeah, and some of the earliest research we have of deep waters ecosystems here in Palau is from work in the late 80s, deploying cameras and traps to look for these shrimp. Back then there was interest to potentially develop a commercial fishery. And yeah, those are some of the earliest observations we have of the deep sea in Palau.
Yeah, we were looking at that paper when we were trying to identify some of these shrimps a little bit more when we were looking at the video footage, though it can be very hard to ID shrimp from video because the characters that you need to see are usually very, very small, and the shrimp just don't sit still.
Little crab.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, a little spot lobster. That's probably a munida. Yeah, this is another epigonus. It's really skinny, so it might be Epigonus athranoides. Unlike the other ones that we've been seeing, which are also very big, but different.
Quite the overhang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really big, big ledge.
Thank God for sonar.
that's cool.
Yeah, we should take a quick peek underneath if we can. Just gonna be a different community if we can just zoom in underneath the overhang. Just
It's funny seeing it in the sonar. It was like this the whole time waiting till we get up to it.
It's like, oh, it's coming. It's gonna be good. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Good currents.
they all look like primnoids.
Yeah, what are these little red? Do we have some zoom on here? Just to
Push
see
it there.
what these little red ones are all over the place.
Oh, I know, you're looking at this.
Yeah, those. They look like anemones, but I think they're sea cucumbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are sea cucumbers.
Wow.
They're in the family Solidae. I'm just showing you really weird sea cucumbers today.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
We've seen the full gambit of them, I think.
Yeah, nice.
Ski star.
Star. Alright.
Are they typically that size?
Comment what?
I've seen them get bigger, but I've never seen them in such abundance.
Yeah.
That's a lot of solid sea cucumbers.
Psyllid?
Solid, P-S-O-L-I-D-A-E.
I would have never expected the P.
Yeah, it's a silent P. Oh, there's a big fish
Big fish.
right in
Oh,
front
yeah.
of
Hanging out.
you. Yeah, it's being all sneaky.
Ah. Wow.
Alright, push in there.
Oh.
Yeah, they got a really nice orange roughy.
That's an orange roughy?
Yeah, that's a
Size on it?
Hoplostethys.
Yeah.
A bit
Yeah,
grumpy.
small eyes.
They do look a bit grumpy.
Orange grumpy.
I don't know why they're called orange when I think they're more red, but I didn't get to pick the name.
Yep.
Hoplostethys.
Hmm.
Hoplos.
Alright, come on.
Really good illustration too of how the red gets absorbed. You almost couldn't see it in the crack.
Yeah, yeah, it just blended in.
Definitely.
It's like another fish underneath that crack under the lasers.
Right there. There's a couple under here.
Yeah.
There's one on top.
Yeah, this is a very different environment, a lot of different species. So good to just get good documentation of this microhabitat.
Yeah, I think we have plenty of time to hang out and explore. We've got only 130 meters to the top.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we did
we've
have a
got-
little side discussion here with our science leads, and yeah, so the consensus is after we reach waypoint 5 is to continue on towards waypoint 6, and that's going to be a bit slower going because we're going back down.
Yeah, we have to jump off the cliff there.
But then there's going to be, depending how far we get, there's a kind of ridge type feature, and it gets quite narrow.
Well, we're recovering at 5, so I don't know if we'll be able to do that much.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just,
But we can do what we can.
exactly, yeah.
The Atalanta
But there's
view
a
is
lot
really
here to
nice.
look at. I
Yeah.
think a lot of good zooms would be very beneficial.
Agreed. All right, let's get that urchin. See some of the
Push in there.
new faces.
It looks like a Spirosomatidae, part of the pancake urchins. There's also some hydrozoans, a tube anemone in view, as well as a brittle star, and some sponge, demosponge.
All right, come on.
Yeah, there's a black coral that's going to come in screen as you focus out. On bottom left of screen will come in. Good, just to get a... Yep,
Right there.
yep, yep.
All right, gonna push in there.
These ones are hard.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, there's a little hermit crab on it.
Little Hermie.
All right, come on.
There's a purple urchin.
Our first unbranched. Then a bamboo or primnoid?
That one's a bamboo.
Mm.
There's a lot of these epigonids. See, this is where I expected to see them. They like these vertical wall features. Oh, who's that fish? The reddish one that's in the crack. That's a new one for us today.
What about?
Push in there.
It's a codling, a morid. This one might be. Jeff knows the name of this one. I've seen this in the guide.
Gadella. Moored fish or codling, yeah.
Look at that one.
It's like, oh no, look at me. I'm more adorable.
Oh, and there's another one.
You
Three
have
fish.
multiple.
One,
There's
two.
another one coming too. Oriole, just to the port.
All right, come on.
It's a very fishy area.
We should try to just get a close-up of one of these yellow fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they plexaurids?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Look like it.
Or formerly known as flexorids.
Push in there.
What is the new name?
Acanthogorgiidae.
Acanthogorgiidae.
Oh, there's a fish was in the camera on
Yeah.
this starboard side there.
Still there.
Nice.
Polychaete worm there, right next side.
And there's also a little cookie star.
That's great. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, the shallower we get, the more cool stuff we're gonna see. We're definitely getting in that zone of really, really neat things. Amphigonus athranoides.
Is that a pink coral? Couldn't see.
That one's a primnoid. Oh.
What is that fish doing?
Nope.
Eating?
Predation.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is nice.
That's a really big bathypathes.
Yeah, beautiful.
Really nice color, yeah.
Can we take a quick zoom of the other black coral? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, push in there.
Is this like a lilipathes, possibly?
I think it's a cladopathidae,
Cladopathidae?
so then that would be what a chrysopathes has morphology like this. But it's
Okay.
hard to see the polyps. Yeah, I don't think this is in the Schizopathidae family. The polyps look too small and uniform.
That's a great zoom.
All right, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Shrimp.
more like chrysopathes.
Oh.
What's this dark spot?
Up ahead.
Yeah, up ahead. Is that another bathypathes?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, okay,
So-
yeah. It just looked so mysterious.
Shadowy.
Squat lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pseudomunida.
19. No, you can turn it up anytime. It's the one downside of moving 2 seats over to bring more
Look at
layers.
the little red one in the middle as well.
Yeah. Yeah, several there in
Down here.
Yeah.
the
All right, push in there.
That's a swiftia,
Swiftia.
so that's a plexaurid. I think we'd like to see the other corals in this area too.
Okay. Come
yeah.
on. This white one.
Yeah, the white one. There's also a rock pen too. It's the brownish red one. So this white one looks like Thalrella, which is
Push
a
in there.
primnoid. And it's got a bunch of associates as well. A little anemone, some opioids. Oh, and there's a different kind of anemone underneath it. That's great, thank you.
Okay, come backward.
I really like the shrimps that are just chilling. It's like an anemone garden. Is that Bathypathes branching?
Looks like it. It
Hmm.
has 3 branches.
Did you want to look at it?
Yeah, let's look at it. It's doing something odd.
Okay.
It could also
push in there.
possibly be a telepathes.
When you say something odd, the branching part?
Yeah, well, there's generally Bathypathes don't branch.
Oh.
But it all seems to be originating from the same point. So it could be that it got damaged and then just kind of did its own thing. Or this could be a different genera, different genus.
All right, come on. All right, we're gonna do a little pilot swap here quick.